Hello and welcome again. I'm Catherine Young, and this is our channel, Our Courage to Heal podcast. Before we begin, let me just say this. I'm not a professional healer and I cannot diagnose. I'm just another person who has been wounded but guided to receive healing. And now I'm here to share my story with you so that hopefully you too can find your courage to heal and stay on the healing journey. Now, let's begin. In this episode, I would like to share about how I was abandoned at 7 years old and how it has impacted my relationships and marriage. To be exact, how I moved from almost divorcing my husband 3 times to living a peaceful life with him now. Let's begin. Book 2, The Healing, Chapter 8. Finally, I can stay in my marriage. There's a contradiction in all my relationships. I was warm, empathetic, loving, sweet, and caring. Usually, it wouldn't take long for us to be close. But the moment I sense my reliance on you or your reliance on me, I would distance myself automatically. I did this to everyone, including my one and only husband of almost 2 decades. I couldn't seem to have a lasting relationship. My natural instinct when someone was close to me was to run. And that's with everyone, including my son. It's easy for me to find fault in my husband. It's easy, right? Husband, a societal status prone to being blamed. We all do that so naturally. I haven't had a friend who only sing praises of their husband. And so I did. I gathered evidence why I should leave. Quite frankly, my partner had evolved so much for me over the years in his attempt to keep me in the marriage. But I couldn't wrap my head around why I always said this to him. One day, when I need you most, I just know it. You wouldn't be there. True to that, he may not be there in time, but he always tries to be there. He was with me to all obstetrician's appointments, both deliveries, major events, all birthdays, and yet I regularly felt that we would end suddenly one day. My fear was real. I even told him to please let me die before him because I really didn't want to be left behind. Bless my partner. It takes quite a man who can put up with these day in, day out for almost 20 years for no apparent reason. Don't you think? The worst was when he traveled for work. I had so much, I'm really scared that the routine we had in place was massive. And so I lived like that since young. Somehow, close relationships fade out and romantic relationships don't last. About 5 years ago, I had a challenge. My partner was traveling a lot and I became very sick regularly too. Every fortnight, you would find me at a GP, TCM or pharmacist. I was just sick a lot. It crippled our marriage. I got worse. I believed that his love for me wasn't strong enough, and that's why he would fly so much for work even though I was in misery. The more he tried to convince me, the more determined I wanted to leave him before he did. We were not happy anymore. I had my armor on almost every day, and I was ready to find my evidence of his lack of care and love. And I was hurting inside. I desperately want to feel loved again. The universe must have sensed my desperation to be healed, and so I was led to Marisa Peer's Rapid Transformational Therapy, RTT. That first session, I really wanted to uncover why no matter what health regime I was trying, I would still be so unwell. The session started and I drifted in. And I saw her. She was my au pair for the first 7 years of my life. She was with me almost every day. I wake up to her, I sleep with her, she bathed and feed me, I was in her arms often. Felt like she loved me more than my own mother. Wait a minute, I saw her face. I met her before when I got older. She came to the house to visit quite regularly. But I could not recognize her. In fact, I had forgotten who she was. Actually, I had blocked her out completely. I forgot that she even existed. I cried my heart out. I felt my heart palpitating. I could feel every emotion I felt the moment I knew she was gone when I was 7. My mom couldn't handle emotions very well, and she knew I would be devastated about her departure. So they decided to hide that from me, and on that fateful day, I came home from school and found her just missing. We were happy just that morning, and she was gone. Not a single goodbye, just gone. I searched the whole house and she could not be found. My mom was in tears, telling me my au pair was gone. I recalled myself crying every waking days for a while. There was no explanation, just gone. We were happy every day. And even the day before she was gone, we were just happy. Then without a goodbye, she was gone for good. My RTT guide was an angel. She was with me for 2 whole weeks and more to help me go through this overwhelming session. It was a very painful time. I couldn't quite fully explain what I was going through. I felt very sick, had 10 days of fever. I was in shock, deeply saddened and guilty. In shock because I never knew this memory existed. Saddened because I could feel the pain I experienced when I found my au pair missing that day. And guilty because I could not recognize her when I met her again years after she left. I was sorry. I was abandoned suddenly at 7 years old, and since then, relationships were meant to be unpredictable, shocking, and heartbreaking. I don't know how long after this healing session, but I felt awakened. It all made sense now. The stronger the marriage, the stronger the hurt later too. I must leave my husband before he could hurt me. My inner child was protecting me from potential harm. My poor husband. Dear, I'm sorry. As usual, he replied, "It's okay, I'm glad you're better now." Did you know that the last attempt to divorce, I was already finding a lawyer? Did you know that this fear is so real that I'm ever ready to end my marriage? But did you also know that all this need not happen if I had recalled this trauma that I blocked out at 7 years old? Sometimes we are so blindsided by our past, hurt, and trauma. In order to protect little Catherine and to make sure she had a normal life, that painful memory was blocked. But physically, our body remembered. Growing up, I was often very sick and always experiencing unexplained abdominal pain. I made close friends, but never lasting ones. There would always be a way for me to leave them, sometimes suddenly without a trace. There's no big quarrel or anything. It just happened. I have the best husband in the world holding on to me when I was determined to leave. He could be changing any ways I picked on to make me feel safe, and I would just sense more danger. If not for the healing session, I could see myself leaving. Dear one, I really just want to share how a past can traumatize us so much that we get caught in it for decades to come, reliving every experience of it until we finally get to release that memory and free ourselves. Yes, I was afraid during the healing. I did have to go through a healing session, and my body had to expel its trauma in the form of fever. But that lasted only a small fraction of my life. Whereas without the healing, I have experienced fading relationships for 30 years. 30! That's 3/4 of my life longing for a lasting relationship even when I was in one. And all I took was just months of messy healing to be free to love again. Today, I have a very different relationship with my partner. I feel very different. I can embrace his love for me better now. I'm not picking on him or finding evidence to leave anymore. I feel loved. I feel safer. We're now supporting each other rather than me resisting and picking on him. I feel my heart awakening, heart walls soften and my guard down. I am aware and capable of recognizing and accepting love. I got my natural instinct to find sweetness in life again. And for the next 2 years, since the RTT session, I had not fallen sick once. Not once, even when my husband and son both got a viral going around. I have released myself of that trauma and its stuck energy that had lingered far too long. Perhaps we have felt exhausted, confused, and afraid. Take a rest. Take a rest in the light of love. Rest from fear, rest from anxiety, rest from the need to work it all out right now. Rest for as long as we feel best. But please know that the universe will open doors for our healing whenever we say yes. We are enough. We are worthy to receive healing. We are worthy to want the best. It's time to let go of what has been, outgrow our past, and embrace our freedom to feel, to love, and be ourselves. Let love lead us back to our true self. Allow the connection to our inner self. Do not zone out or turn away from what is happening, even when it's painful. Be gentle with ourselves but persistent to stay on healing. If we cannot proceed along a certain route, find another healing guide and do not lose our determination to heal. Sometimes things may not go to plan, but they are still going to work out. When we finally let go of all these hurting energies, we will feel increasingly free. We will sense the seeds of the negativity being cleansed and dissolving in the light. It's time to let go of what has been and be ready to start anew. Dear one, if you can, just try to tame the wild and frenzied workings of the mind by connecting, truly connecting with our heart space. Our gentleness and inner strength can overcome any negativities. Let's close our eyes and try to imagine the way we can live so that our inner beings and actions are in alignment. Consider the compassion and response from a place of kindness and determination to heal. Feel relief in the knowledge that we all hold our courage to heal within us and only within us. We can connect within and embrace both our masculine and feminine energies, enjoy them and engage them to create, celebrate, grow, and heal ourselves, and look forward to start living the life we have always daydreamed of. We do not need to adapt, compromise, or alter ourselves to be like anyone else. Our true nature is enough. Healing feels like a positive twist of fate and windfall of good fortune. Brightness and hope will elevate negativity and give us strength to find our way through times of adversities or challenge. Dear one, go gently. May you keep your mind open, heart walls soft, will powerful, and actions true in this healing journey. Whenever you feel ready will be the best time. I will be rooting for you.